Raider Nation, it's Chiefs week, which means I need nothing but FKCs in the chat. If you see a Chiefs fan on the Raiders Report this week, FKC. If you hear anybody just saying anything about Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, hell, Taylor Swift, it's FKC. I'm Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report, and we are live. Coming up here on today's show, I have a jam-packed episode. We're going to talk about some top trending NFL news that happened today because I've been asked by a bunch of people, Mitch, should the Raiders go out and should they try to sign or claim Shaq Leonard? I'll give you my answer on that. Then there's some trade rumors, of course, for next offseason. We'll look at some of those. And then we're going to look at Raiders-Chiefs preview. My burning questions against Kansas City. How are the Raiders going to take down the Chiefs? Because for the first time in a long time, the Chiefs look beatable, but are the Raiders good enough offensively to take them down? Because right now they look good enough on defense. Then, as always, questions, comments, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. And at the very, very end of today's show, we will be doing a 50-50 raffle. So if anybody wants a chance to get in, $10 Venmo for a chance to win some money. We got 260 people here. I saw Juan Hernandez said this. Hey, if you don't like that video, Queen Sarah Otto is going to come looking for you. And we have our Chiefs channel here at Chat Sports spamming FLV, which I think is cute because the Chiefs copying us here again. So let's get them out of my chat right now, and you're going to get a shout-out here on the show. I got to see some FKCs. Vincenzo, $500 super chat, and we're going to put Jace's address in the chat. Love it. Absolutely love it. El Loco Uno, FKC, Jose Delgado, Daniel Caps Keenan, Giovanni, Chili, Kevin. What up, Mario? We out here entertainment. Seth, I see you. What up, Chili? I got my man, Ruthless Raider, Boogie. I have a lovely bunch of coconuts. Major shout out to you. See Patrick B, Mount Raider more here in the chat. Dean, Gene, Jay Silk, what's up, my brother? Kevin BMW, Drake M, and once you know it, it's weird, that Chiefs guy, he's gone now. We got 314 people in here, and you know what? I think it's time for everybody to welcome in a good friend of mine. Some of you look at him, and he's kind of like my right-hand man, and literally on my right side here. Everybody give a warm welcome in for Jeremy.
FKC.
FKC. FKC. FKC. FKC. FKC. FKC.
FKC. FKC. Whoa!
I mean, I'm telling you this right now. Watching Monday Night Football last night, I get it was an ugly game, bad weather conditions, but the Chiefs do look beatable. Even though I'm still upset with the way that the offense played. When you look at that Dolphins game, it was the best defensive game that the Raiders have played in quite some time, going up against one of the better teams in the league. If the Raiders can get their offensive struggles together, because this defense to me is going to keep them in games. And the Chiefs offense does not look like your typical Kansas City offense.
He's about to get so scared on Sunday, Patrick is going to turn into Jackson.
Wow. Oh, man. At first, when you said Jackson, I thought you meant like our Patrick was going to turn into a Jack here at our office, which maybe is just as bad. I don't know. But either way here, I do think that Mahomes is in for a little bit of a rude awakening, and I'm not saying the Raiders are going to come away with a win, but I feel more confident this week going into a Chiefs game that I have in a very long time.
I'll tell you this right now. Sneaky X factor today in this Sunday's game, Robert Spillane.
Yep.
He has been so good at reading the quarterback over the past 3-4 weeks. If he's able to undercut one of those Travis Kelce short routes, get a pick, possibly in Chiefs territory, we are going to go absolutely bananas. And you can eat bananas, you can eat sun-dried tomato chicken, honey maple barbecue ground beef, all of those with our sponsor, Factor Meals.
Hey, shout out to Factor here. I do think one of the key factors in the Raiders taking down Kansas City is absolutely them taking out Travis Kelce in this game, not letting him catch the football. But, hey, this holiday season, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered right to your door. Ready in just 2 minutes, no prep, no mess. Head to factormeals.com/RaidersChat50 and use code RaidersChat50 to get 50% off. That's code RaidersChat50 at factormeals.com/RaidersChat50 to get 50% off. I know that I love Factor, but I'm going to be real with you, Jeremy. I can't wait for Thanksgiving, man. I can't wait to sit down, have some food with my fiance, her family, but also one of my favorite things to do on Thanksgiving is to watch some good football games.
Yeah.
So this is what I did today. I put together a nice little Thanksgiving spread, if you will, on PrizePicks. And right now at PrizePicks,
I see what you did there.
they have one hell of a deal. Christian McCaffrey, half a yard.
It's 99% off on his stat projection.
If this hits, where more for McCaffrey, more on David Montgomery, and more on Dak Prescott, if that hits, I put 20 down, I have a chance to win $100. That's pretty freaking good if you ask me, and you're getting one for free.
Yeah, I mean, you just need to pick two
Yes.
that make it.
That's the special deal PrizePicks is doing this week. So if anybody wants to double down on this, go to PrizePicks.com. Make sure you guys use code CLNS. PrizePicks.com/CLNS for a $100 deposit match. That's what I'm going with. Dak Prescott, the Commanders, one of the worst teams in the NFL against QBs. In fact, they have given up the most passing yards this season. David Montgomery going up against the Green Bay Packers. The last time David Montgomery played Green Bay, over 120 total yards, 3 touchdowns. You know what? If I don't win, I don't win. But the fact that I was able to put down 20 and I have a chance to win 100 with this, and all I got to do is get 2 right, that sounds pretty freaking good to me. Man, we got 400 people here in the chat. And I see a super chat rolling in right now from Dylan Erickson that says, I'd throw my FKC, but they wouldn't catch it anyway. What's funny about this joke here is we were talking about in the office today how bad this Chiefs offense looks right now, at least the wide receivers. They might have the worst wide receiver group in the entire National Football League right now. I mean, they definitely miss Tyreek Hill. I don't care what anybody says. When you see defenses take away Travis Kelce like they've been.
It's so great to see them struggle.
Yeah, I mean, but their defense now this season's been playing really, really well, which you do got to give them some credit for. I will say, I'm happy that the Chiefs lost, but MBS dropping that touchdown yesterday cost me $200, which I wasn't thrilled about. But, you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. One of the big things that happened today in the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts, they are moving on from Shaq Leonard. So the question is this: should the Raiders go out and claim him? So right now, he's going to hit waivers. You can put in a claim for him, which means then you're going to be taking on his contract. If nobody puts in a claim for him, he becomes a free agent, and then any NFL team can go out and sign him in free agency. My question to you is this: should the Raiders try to get Shaq Leonard? Give me a yes. Give me a no. Right now, the live poll on this show, 87% say yes, 13% say no. Juan Hernandez says yes. Nicholas Clover says no. I'm going to give you my answer coming up here in a little bit.
At one point, Shaq Leonard was a top 3 linebacker in this league.
Oh, I mean, Shaq Leonard, from a talent standpoint, is a good linebacker. He's had a little bit of a down past 2 seasons, if you will, since getting his big-time contract. Has definitely struggled with some injuries. But if you can upgrade at a position, yes, the Raiders linebackers have been playing well, but should you do it? It's going to be interesting, man. Senior Steve, what up, man? Jeffrey Kreischer, only if he clears waivers. Rebel Montana, by a lifeline. Hell yes from Michael Smoot. Definitely yes from Adam Sweeney. Yes from Raider ADC. My answer on this one is going to be coming up here probably in about 10 minutes or so on the show. Let's go to another fun question here. Bleacher Report released an article talking about some moves that they could forecast seeing next offseason. One of the moves was that the Raiders should go out and they should trade for Bears quarterback Justin Fields.
For a third.
No. Trade for Justin Fields. I'll show you what the trade is coming up here in just a second. But honest question, okay? When I do this show, I give you guys my honest opinion, whether you like it or not. Sometimes maybe I go a little bit too far after a Raiders loss. Maybe I don't go far enough. But honest question here.
You always go far enough.
Always. Oh, I'll tell you what. I'm always rounding third, heading for home.
Uh-huh.
Some people are still working on getting in the first, but that's okay. Better quarterback, Justin Fields or Aiden O'Connell? JF for Fields, AOC for Aiden. Where do you stand on this?
Better quarterback right now?
Because right now in the chat, Aiden O'Connell is the answer.
I'd have to disagree. Taking my silver and black blinders off,
Yeah.
I do think Justin Fields has a much higher upside than Aiden O'Connell.
Oh, he definitely has a higher upside.
I think, his throwing maybe is not elite, but it's not as bad as a lot of people think it is, where his stats are. I mean, up until this past season, he didn't really have a quarterback or a wide receiver one. His wide receiver one was Darnell Mooney.
Yeah.
So if you go from Darnell Mooney to Devontae Adams, that could change a ton. So I think at the end of the day, I'm going JF, but I don't think it is like by far and away, there is no doubt about it, Justin Fields. I think he's better than Aiden O'Connell, but depending on the situation, Aiden, if he continues to develop and get better, he could end up being better than Justin Fields. But right now, everything out of the window, I'm taking JF.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of these quarterbacks offer you two totally different things, right? Like, if I'm going to run more of a run-first style of an offense, the answer is easily Justin Fields. If I'm going to run more of probably the offense that the Raiders run right now with Bo Hardegree and have it be a little bit more conservative, the answer is probably Aiden O'Connell. But if we're looking at next year and next season only, Justin Fields does give you a better shot to win football games than Aiden O'Connell does. However, we are going to be talking about this a little bit more because this question is just a teaser in terms of my answer in terms of what I would do if I was the Raiders. I don't want to totally give it away. A little bit of a tease. I just wanted to see what you guys had to say because a lot of the times before I ask you guys a question here on the show, we'll talk about it out in the office a little bit. And I said that there's going to be a lot of people that say Aiden O'Connell is a better QB than Justin Fields. However, though, judging by this chat, I would say 60% of the votes coming in right now are for Fields and 40% are for Aiden O'Connell. Let's go to another question here because this is a big one. What is your confidence level in the Raiders' offense right now? Scale it from 1 to 10. Let's say, based on what we know right now, and based off what we know right now, I don't know if Kolton Miller is going to be playing left tackle. We will talk about Kolton coming up here on today's show. But, you got Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, this offense in general, going up against Kansas City. This is the biggest game of the year. If the Raiders beat Kansas City this week, that's the number one thing that you're putting on your resume if you're Antonio Pierce, if you're Aiden O'Connell. If those two guys want to say, hey, we deserve a shot next season, you got to beat the Chiefs one time. Because if you take care of business against Kansas City, that's the number one thing. Yeah, you might not be able to get into the playoffs, but you could say, well, we didn't get into the playoffs because of how bad we started. You take care of business against Kansas City, that's the number one thing I'm putting on my resume here. I see Adam Sweeney says 6. DJ Loaded 8. Mikey 8. Queen Sarah Otto 7. I love a lovely bunch of coconuts. Gonna go with a 7. Also, we just got an update here on Kolton Miller, and this was going to be something that I was talking about on the show. It does look like Miller is, in quotes, trending in the right direction to play this week up against the Kansas City Chiefs, which is something that I was
change it to a 3.
It's still a 3. It was already a 3. At least it should be in the graphics. Maybe not. If the Raiders beat the Chiefs, I will what? Fill in the blank here. And then coming up here, we'll get into the latest news around the silver and black. Yeah, I had it as 3 just win babies for Kolton Miller.
3. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I talked to Kolton this week. Talked to him yesterday, actually, and sounds like it's going to be pretty good. Picante says, get a tattoo. What are you going to get? DJ Loaded, believe. Eat corn the long way from Isaiah. Interesting. J-Mo says, party. Oh, we're definitely going to be partying. Throw a 100. So you're saying you're banging on here, Jose Delgado? I like it. Run around my hood naked, waving a Raiders flag, and go all out. Prove it. I want that video. It sounds weird to say out loud, but I would want to put that video on Twitter and Instagram. That would be hilarious, man. We got Give Raiders Report a $500 donation from Emilio. You a real one. Buy Mitch a Cuban gal. I don't know what that is.
I think you're talking about maybe a cigar?
I hope. Or a Cuban chain. How about that? Put a baby in my female from Raider Baby Maker. Makes sense. The name checks out. Queen Sarah Auto, have a party.
Yep, name checks out.
I mean, the name checks out. I don't even want to know what Aggressive Master Raider is going to say here. So,
oh, my God.
Yeah, all right, man. Let's keep it moving here on the show. We got 550 people watching, 150 likes so far. Remember, we are going to be doing a 50-50 raffle at the very end of today's show. So if you want a chance to get in, you want a chance to win some money, yesterday we gave away $120.
And I wanted to try something out new because I think this might be a easier system for us.
I'm
Mitch.
listening.
Instead of messaging them to me on Slack, you just open up a notes app and just write them all down and then copy that and send it to TD? Because then I would just have to copy and paste rather than you write it down and I write it down.
Okay, so I'd have to open up my notes on my computer.
Yeah.
All right, we'll try it out. I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
You always do.
I hear you.
Picante, FAB. It's always FAB.
It's always FAB.
Hey, I heard he might return to the Steelers now that Matt Canada's gone.
Yeah, that would be insane. Also, first-time super chatter, so shout out to Picante.
Oh.
Shout out to you,
I didn't
man.
even realize it.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. Devin Smith says they need to go get Leonard right now. Well, we'll see. We'll talk about it here on the show. It's going to be interesting. Also, shout out to Justine for winning $120 yesterday. Again, at the very, very end of today's show, 50-50 raffle here on the Raiders Report. So, hopefully we give away some money. We'll see.
First, coming up, though, got some Raiders rumors.
Yep.
Raiders versus Chiefs preview. Burning questions.
The top trending questions going in against Kansas City.
And, as always, hashtag Raiders or Super Chats. I will try to pull a couple hashtag Raiders questions. I'm going to find a couple of the best ones. So if you have one, send it in, and I'll try to get you on the show. I'm going to try to get a little bit better at that to show some love to the rest of the audience. So get your hashtag Raiders in and Super Chat if you want to skip the line.
Picante says, get
like
Jim
Picante.
Harbaugh and trade for Justin Fields. So it's an interesting combo. Go out and get a Michigan coach, pair him with an Ohio State quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that that's what Harbaugh would do personally. Like, again, if I'm going to hire a guy like Jim Harbaugh, he's probably going to want to go draft his own quarterback. So
yeah. Maybe J.J. McCarthy.
I don't. Dude, that would be bad. I don't want J.J. McCarthy.
I don't want it.
I don't want J.J. McCarthy. However, though, when you consider the fact that you're going to have to give up a first-round pick for Justin Fields, does that change your answer on the overall of, like, what you would do with Fields? We'll talk about all that coming up here on the show. Let's get this thing rolling, man. I got a lot to talk about today. Tons and tons of content coming at you. It is a friendly reminder that we will not be live, we won't be live on Thursday. It is Thanksgiving, so Chugs and I are going to go hang out with our families. The next time that you will see us live here on the show is going to be Sunday when the Raiders do take on the Kansas City Chiefs, so please keep that in mind. All right, without further ado, let's get this thing going. First show, PrizePicks.
Wait.
Yeah?
We only have 175 likes on the show. There's 550 people watching. Can we get to 200 likes? Who's going to be the 25 people that step up and like the video? I want to get to today's show. I want to get it going. But we only have 175 likes with 550 people watching?
For the love of God, just click the like button so he stops this.
I mean, it's Chiefs week. I thought we would be pumped up. I thought we'd be ready to go. I thought the Silver and Black Hills, I thought all of Raider Nation would be ready to go. But, I mean, 175 likes, that doesn't really tell me you're ready to go.
All right. I think we're ready to go now.
Oh, I think we're ready to go as well. You ready to go?
I'm ready to get this thing going. Coming up, latest news and rumors around the Raiders. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here. And coming up on today's show, should the Silver and Black trade for Justin Fields? There is somebody out there on the internet that thinks that they should. Is Kolton Miller going to be playing? Is Marcus Epps going to be able to go up against the Kansas City Chiefs? All those answers are going to be a little bit later on today's program. Before we talk about the Silver and Black, I do want to mention a little NFL news today because Shaq Leonard was released by the Indianapolis Colts, and I had a lot of people asking me, Mitch, Should the Raiders go out and get him? And I get the fact that he's a talented linebacker. However, I do think that you need to understand the contract in order to do it. So because he was released, whatever NFL team puts in a claim for him, I don't know if the Raiders are even going to have a shot to claim him, if he's going to fall down or not. But if they do put in a claim for Leonard, they're going to owe him $6.11 million this year. So essentially, $6 million or $1 million for every game for the rest of the season. On top of that, the Raiders, if they claim him, they are also on the hook for about $6.5 million for next season due to an injury guarantee. So not only are you on the hook for this season, you are also on the hook for Leonard for next season. If nobody claims him and he hits free agency, well, then you can go and just give him a brand new contract. You're not tied to the one that he has. So for me personally, I do not want the Raiders to put in a claim for him. I know he's a talented linebacker, but because of the money this season and because of the money next season, and the fact that Robert Spillane has played well, the fact that this team's linebackers have played a lot better than what has been anticipated, I've been told by a source that, no, the Raiders are very unlikely to make a move for Leonard. If he hits free agency, though, that is a totally different conversation. Claim? No. Sign him in free agency? Different conversation. Now, I get it. A lot of people look at the tackle numbers, and a few years ago, Leonard was one of the best linebackers in the National Football League. But this season hasn't quite lived up to the hype. Last season did not have that great of a year, honestly, man. But then you look a few years ago, he was one of the best LBs in the NFL. According to PFF, when you look at the grades this season, a 60.3 overall grade, the run defense grade at 64.3, the pass rush grade at 49.2, the coverage grade at 56.4. Last season, his PFF grade was under 50 overall. Like, I know that people like linebackers, especially guys that rack up tackles, but he's not better than the way Robert Spillane has been playing this season. And I'm not going to spend $6.1 million on a linebacker when our linebacker group's been playing well. And I'm not going to tie us down to more money next season. It's just a lot going on with Shaq Leonard. For more news around the NFL, click that subscribe button. For more updates around the silver and black, I want you to hit that subscribe button. If you're always the type of person where you see NFL news break, and I don't care about the Indianapolis Colts, I'll care about them Week 17 when the Raiders play them, but when you see news like that, it's, okay, that happened. How does it pertain to the Raiders? I just gave you the breakdown. If that's the type of content you're looking for, subscribe. It's 100% for free. All right, let's keep it rolling here on the Raiders Report, and it's been a minute. I figured I'd bring back the just win babies here a little bit. Should the Las Vegas Raiders trade for Bears quarterback Justin Fields? Bleacher Report believes that they should. And I'm going to show you a quote here from Bleacher Report before I give you my answer on this one, because this is the time of the year where people start putting out content for 2024, which I get it. All good NFL teams, they should prep for 2024 to a certain degree. And due to the struggles at the QB position this year for the Raiders, I understand the rumor. So Bleacher Report had this to say on the Raiders trading for Fields. The Raiders made a move for Jimmy Garoppolo this offseason, but with Josh McDaniels out of the building, they are a good candidate. Fields would give them a dynamic, promising quarterback for a new head coach to build around. So, should the Raiders go trade for Justin Fields? Guess what? My answer to this is hell no. Tuck rule, tuck that. Zero just win babies. It doesn't make any sense for the Raiders to trade for Justin Fields. So the article that was released here by Bleacher Report was early predictions for the NFL's quarterback carousel in 2024 offseason. Here's the thing. If you're going to trade for Fields, you are going to have to give up a first-round pick. To me, I understand that he's talented. I understand that he's a hell of an athlete, but I'm not going to give up a first-round pick for a quarterback when I don't view them as a good thrower of the football. He is in the third year of his rookie deal. They could figure out whether or not they're going to give him that fifth-year option and whatnot. But with the amount of talent that is in this next year's draft class, why are you going to trade a first-round pick for Justin Fields, who, yes, the upside is there. No doubt about it. His upside is astronomical, but the floor is also not great. And he hasn't been a quarterback even worth trading a first-round pick for. So here's Bleacher Report's trade idea. The Raiders get Justin Fields. The Chicago Bears get a first-round pick. They're just racking up these first-rounders. And if you're like, Mitch, there's no way that the Bears are going to get a first-round pick. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you. I've talked to a lot of people, but why would the Bears give up on a QB when they could have gotten A lot for him last offseason. They're even kind of selling low here a little bit. What do you think here? Who wins this trade? I know that a lot of people are going to take a screenshot of this, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, look how dumb this trade idea is that Mitch made. But they're not going to look at the fact that it was made by Bleacher Report. Is it LV or is it the Chicago Bears? To me, this one is very, very simple. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. My answer coming up after this YouTube ad break. The winner of that trade was the Chicago Bears, and it's not close to me. If you're the Raiders, you do not make this move. It makes absolutely, positively 0 cents for you to trade a first-round pick. And I talked to a source very close to Chicago. It says, you're not getting Fields for anything less than a first-round pick. So I'm not going to trade a first for a quarterback who can't throw, plus this year's quarterback draft class is absolutely stacked to me. I get that wins, losses aren't a quarterback number. Fields hasn't had a lot of success winning football games in his career. I'll admit he's had arguably the worst receiving core before this season, and he's had a terrible offensive line. Is he a good runner? Yes, no doubt about it. But with the pieces that the Raiders currently have in place, adding a quarterback like Fields, to me, I don't understand why you would do it. In fact, I know I've been getting a lot of hate this week because people are like, oh, Mitch, you're flip-flopping on Aiden O'Connell. I'm not. I've always viewed Aiden O'Connell as a backup quarterback. However, I've always said that Aiden was better than Jimmy Garoppolo and Brian Hoyer. And I'm telling you all this right now. I'd rather keep Aiden O'Connell at quarterback than spend a first-round pick on Justin Fields. If the Bears said, well, would you take Fields for a third or a fourth? It's a totally different conversation. The problem is, that's not going to happen. And if I got to give up a first-round pick for Justin Fields, I'd rather roll with Aiden O'Connell for another year. But then even on top of that, I'm not going to trade the pick because of the quarterback draft prospects this upcoming year. My top 5 2024 quarterback prospects are this. I got Bo Nix at number 5, Jaden Daniels at 4, Michael Penix Jr. at 3, Caleb Williams at 2, Drake May at 1. If I'm being real with all y'all, I would rather have any one of these quarterbacks that you see on screen than Justin Fields because I got to trade a first for Fields. I'm not spending the first-round pick on Bo Nix. I'm not spending the first-round pick on Jaden Daniels. Michael Penix Jr. will go in the first round. Jaden Daniels probably will go in the first round after his combine. But to me, I would rather give up 3 first-round picks to try to get Drake May. I'd rather try to give up 3 first-round picks for a guy like Caleb Williams instead of going out and settling on Fields. If you haven't figured this out already, I'm not settling for a quarterback. I didn't want to settle on Derek Carr. I didn't want to settle for Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't want to settle for Aiden O'Connell. The quarterback position is not a position that you settle on. You go out and you get your franchise quarterback next offseason, and I don't think that's Justin Fields. Coming up here on the Raiders Report, I got injury updates here on Kolton Miller and Marcus Epps because I was talking to Kolton yesterday, figuring out how his shoulder, how his body is feeling, and then I've been reaching out to some people in terms of Marcus Epps. Before I tell you whether or not they're going to be playing up against Kansas City, hey man, I am super excited for Thanksgiving, and I have one hell of a stack. I'm talking a plate on PrizePicks that Jeremy Chuggs, I know for a fact, would be very proud of. If anybody out there also wants to take advantage of this, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and make sure that you use code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. And the reason why I want you all to take advantage of this right now, because not only is PrizePicks Fantasy Sports made easy, I'm a guy that likes a good deal. And right now they have a hell of a deal on PrizePicks right now. So if you guys want to take advantage of it, now's your time to do it. If you've sat there on the couch, if you've sat there on the toilet, if you've been driving the car, park your car first, and then take advantage of this. If you're like, Mitch, I've wanted to play PrizePicks for a while. Why should I do it? Right now is the best deal that I've seen on PrizePicks in a very long time. In fact, this that I put down, this is 20 to win 100. I don't know if you could see this. This is Christian McCaffrey to get more than half a yard. They're basically giving you one. Then David Montgomery, the last time he played Green Bay, 120 yards of total offense, 3 touchdowns. Give me the more on rushing and receiving. Dak Prescott going up against the Washington Commanders on Thanksgiving, who ranked dead last against quarterbacks in fantasy, have given up the most passing yards, 266.5 passing yards. Give me the more on that. If that hits, I put down 20, I win 100. That sounds like a hell of a Thanksgiving to me. So if you want to go with this one right now, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and make sure that you use code CLNS. That link's going to be available to you guys down in the comments and down in the description of today's show. All right, we talked about Shaq Leonard. We talked about Justin Fields. Some of y'all are like, Mitch, give me some actual content here that impacts the Raiders this week. I get you. I hear you. But you got to remember, the way that this show was made was me being asked top trending questions back in the old days, back when these Just Win babies used to be Chucky heads. So that's why we talked about those topics. But let's talk here a little bit about Kolton Miller, and is he going to be playing against the Chiefs? I'm going to give this one 3 Just Win babies, and I'm telling y'all it's pretty likely that you're going to see your left tackle, number 74, out there against Kansas City, which is very, very good news because the Raiders' offensive line without him, let's face it, hasn't been very good. He's missed 2 straight games with that shoulder injury that he sustained Week 9 against the New York Giants, was unable to go against the Jets, unable to go against the Dolphins, and the Raiders were playing it safe with him. And when I talked to Kolton right before it was the Jets game, he's told me that they're not trying to rush it. They're not trying to do anything drastic. They want to make sure that he's healthy and ready. Last week I said that the Raiders could play it safe again, and they could potentially not play him against Miami, though it was kind of reported that he was going to be suiting up, ready to go. And then on game day, he was just an inactive, which was definitely a surprise to a lot of people out there. But the reason why they're playing it safe is because, yeah, we all wanted them to beat the Miami Dolphins. But every single person here right now, and I know this for a fact, if you told me, hey, would you rather have Kolton Miller play against the Dolphins or the Chiefs? Every single person is going to be spamming FKC down in the chat. And I do believe that you're going to see Kolton Miller, Dylan Parham, Andre James, Greg Van Roten, and Jermaine Illuminor as your starting offensive line against Kansas City, which is good news because a lot of times when you talk about the Chiefs, you talk about Andy Reid, you talk about Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, you don't really look at the defense. And this year, this Chiefs defense has been the reason why they're winning games, in fact. I mean, their defense is playing outstanding football, and they're getting after the quarterback. Chris Jones, I think he's the best defensive tackle in football right now. Like, it's hard to argue that, and they're getting after the quarterback. And considering the fact of how much this offensive line has struggled, considering the fact of how much Aiden O'Connell has struggled when pressured this season, you need to have a healthy offensive line. You need to have a healthy Kolton Miller, and the Chiefs right now rank 3rd in the NFL with 36 sacks behind only Buffalo. And we know how that Buffalo game went. And then you got the Baltimore Ravens at 44. The Chargers there at 34. We knew how that game went, right? Like, to me, if you can't protect Aiden O'Connell, you're going to be in a lot of trouble against Kansas City. Coming up here next on the show, sponsored by PrizePicks, Marcus Epps injury news. Because to me, the Raiders not having Epps, that scares the hell out of me because he takes away a lot of deep plays. He's one of the captains, leaders of this team, and it's just a tough mother effer, and I need him to be healthy enough to get out there and play. If you want more Raiders content, these are the 2 videos that I made over the past 2 days. I put up a video around Bo Hardegree replacements. I have not been very happy with what I have seen from Bo, considering how bad the Raiders' offense has been the past few games. I'll say that, last few quarters. So I figured, okay, when the Raiders decide to bring in a new head coach next year, maybe it's Antonio Pierce, they keep him, or maybe they bring in a new head coach. Bottom line, you are going to be bringing in a new offensive coordinator. So a smart franchise starts already getting prepared for that next offseason. I got 9 names to keep in mind. And then I know a lot of people still want to ride with Aiden O'Connell. The Raiders are going to ride with AOC for the rest of the year, as they should. He gives them their best chance to win. However, like I mentioned before, you don't settle at the quarterback position. So what I did here is I ranked Aiden O'Connell against some of the top quarterback prospects in next year's draft in terms of would I rather start Bo Nix or Aiden O'Connell next season? Find out. Would I rather roll with Jaden Daniels or Aiden O'Connell next season? Find out. Would I rather roll with a guy like Shador Sanders or Aiden O'Connell next season? That's what this video is. That link's going to be available to you guys also down in the comments and down in the description. Also, one of the things that I wanted to start doing here is showing some love to the people that take time out of their day to comment on our videos. So I saw this one from Dominic that said, Jaden Daniels is the guy. He's a true dual threat quarterback. He will keep defensive coordinators up all night. Fair enough. If you're up too late, though, and it lasts longer than 4 hours, call a doctor. Find out knows. 20 years ago, O'Connell would have been a great quarterback. With today's QB, you got to get more versatile. Fair enough. Again, these are all comments based off of my video that I put out on the Raiders quarterbacks. Let AOC be a rookie. Damn, you guys are giving up on the kid already. Not giving up on him. Just sometimes you got to have a little tough love. Vehola, hopefully I pronounced that one right. Everyone calm down. Aiden O'Connell is doing fine. Give him a chance like y'all did Carr's bum ass. And then Raiders since 74. I think J.J. McCarthy is better than Aiden O'Connell. Well, guess what? I give you my answer in that video. Bottom line, this is a show built on the backs of the nation. We're not always going to agree, and that's the way that it needs to be. But you will have a spot to always vent, have a conversation. That's what makes the Raiders Report, I think, a little bit different on the YouTube world. All right, we're going to keep it rolling here. Will Marcus Epps be able to go against the Kansas City Chiefs? Watch this. Bang. 3 just win, babies. I also think that it's pretty likely that you're going to see number 1 out there on the field. So Epps, unfortunately, had to leave the game against the Miami Dolphins dealing with a neck injury. And, he was questionable. Then they ruled him that he's not going to be able to come back, which scared me, no doubt about it. There was a report from Jeremy Fowler that said that he suffered a neck stinger, and it is to believe that it's not too serious. I don't know how much you're going to see him practice this week. I don't anticipate that he's probably going to be out there too much. However, they're going to rest him. They're going to get him prepared. They need him against Kansas City because the Chiefs are a team that, right now they need the deep ball because their offense is struggling. If Marcus Epps is unable to go, look for Isaiah Polameo to be able to step up. And this is actually one thing that I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass for a little bit or I guess I should say Monday. I didn't give Isaiah Polameo enough love because Epps went down and dude stepped up, right? He was able to play and fill in very nicely, I thought, for Epps. Another player that could get some time is Roderick Teamer. Roderick Teamer has yet to be, activated off the IR, and if he is able to go, you're going to see him at special teams. You're going to see him out there on the field. Even look for a guy like Chris Smith to potentially get a few reps. Here's my question, though, okay? Let's just live in a world where the football gods are just saying you can only have one. Who's more important against Kansas City? Is it Kolton Miller, type 74, or is it on the defensive side of the football, Marcus Epps? I want you to type 1. You're going to get hit with one more YouTube ad break here. My answer after this. My answer is as much as I want Epps out there on the field, and let's not get it twisted. Epps is extremely important in this game against Kansas City, but the correct answer is Kolton Miller. And I'm looking down at the chat. Rebel Montana, El Loco Uno, Jeffrey Kreischer, Scum God, David Brock are all typing 74. And usually when you think Chiefs, you think of, all right, how's our defense going to go up against their offense? But this season, it's kind of flipped. I have confidence in this Raiders defense. Yes, I want to have Marcus Epps out there. Yes, both are important. But to me, Kolton Miller is the more important player this Sunday when the Raiders take on and hopefully take down the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody here in the chat. Man, we got 660 people here. Chugs, can you give some shout outs? I'm actually going to change my jersey.
Quick change.
Real quick here.
Let's see. I haven't seen a single one yet. And, I was telling this to Mitch, too. This isn't saying Kolton Miller is far and ahead a way better player than Marcus Epps, because I think Marcus Epps has been one of the best back-end players for the Raiders this season. But when it comes down to the Chiefs and what's going to be more important, I think protecting Aiden O'Connell and making sure your left tackle is good is more important than a safety. So that's why I'm typing in my 74. The only person I've seen type in 1 is diehard Raider fan 365. OB Boogie as well, typing in his 1. But Juan Hernandez, Robert Hudson, Adam Sweeney, Chev Silver Raider, all typing in that 74. Sean PM. Hi, Blue Richards. What's up?
What's up, Blue?
Also, Justin Shields, you in. If anybody wants in our 50-50 raffle at the very, very end of the show, $10 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365 for a chance to win some money. I see John Powell says 74, not close. Jay Miller, Michael Calhoun, Alex Saw, KSI.
Jay Silk, I see you in the chat. It says that my shirt got delivered. I just checked, Jay Silk.
Yeah?
But it might be, do we have a mail room?
It might be actually downstairs. Like you could check like the front, like in the very front when you walk in. I don't know. But you park, so it's different. You might have to check it out after the show.
Yeah, I might have to get somebody to
unless it's here in the office somewhere and we just haven't opened it, but usually we're pretty good about that.
Yeah.
Usually. We'll check it out though, Jay Silk. Appreciate you, man. I see Raider Tone. I see all of y'all in here. Got a few more people now that are in this duck race. I see Victor Rez. You in, Victor Rez. Again, I'm going to write down all these names for Jeremy, and then, because then what, you're just going to be able to copy and paste and throw them right in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That makes sense.
Because then I think it'll take less time.
I think it's really just.
Yeah.
Yep. I got you now. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I got you. Okay, man. We got 620 people here watching. See a lot of people interacting with us, which is absolutely what I love to see, man. I really appreciate that. I think a lot of people are doing great. Margarine, there's a lot of other good content creators out there. I think Graf does a hell of a job.
Jojo Siwa.
I think Wasted does a hell of a job.
You know, what's his face?
I have no idea.
The guy who gives away money all the time. Mr. Beast.
Raiders content creators?
Oh, you just said content creators.
Raiders content
Josh
creators.
Wiseman does great food videos.
I think Honcho's a great guy.
Rebel and Martin are sending me Josh Wiseman videos, which
really?
I was on the Josh Wiseman. I feel like one of those guys who's like, oh yeah, I saw Aerosmith whenever they were playing in their garage.
Yep.
I saw Josh Wiseman whenever he had like 400, 300,000 subs, which is a lot. Now he has like 4.2 million subs.
That's kind of wild, man. I hope one day we can hit a milli. That'd be pretty dope. And the only way we're going to get there is if the nation keeps on growing, man. Raiders all day. How much can we win if we enter the raffle? Right now, you would win $15. Now, yesterday we gave away 120. I mean, it just depends on how many people get in. It's just like a normal 50-50 raffle if anybody's ever entered one at any kind of sporting event, any kind of event in general. So right now, we have Victor and Justin. They are in. I bet you we get some more, though. And luckily for all y'all, Nico Laz isn't here. So you got a shot to win. All right, let's go to the next segment coming up here on the Raiders Report. And this one's going to be my prediction around the Raiders, Kansas City Chiefs. I got some keys to victory. And then we're also going to be looking at the NFL playoff picture because we're starting to get at that point in the season where every single game matters. And the Raiders, they still have a shot to get in. And because they play so many AFC teams, 5 out of their final 6 games are teams that are right now in the hunt with the silver and black. I can't wait to see what type of Raiders team that we are going to get down the stretch. Graf and Wasted are just fake content creators. Just kidding.
And I think I'm not going to say it. You know what? We're going to get into our next segment, but just a reminder, there are a couple Chiefs fans that just rolled up into the chat. So,
get them out of here.
I think this next segment will be for you, Mr. Hefe, which, I don't know. Chiefs fans, a bunch of liars and cheaters and thieves.
People are talking.
I haven't seen the new ESPN Plus doc yet, but
I might have to watch it.
Seems like all the major Chiefs fans are big, thieves and liars and stealers, where Raiders fans, they seem like more of the honorable type.
I agree, man. Also, Jerry Kester, James Guevara, and Misty Williamson you in. Also, James put 2 entries in. So right now, 10 to win 30. 10 to win 30. Jose Delgado, you in? All right, 7 people are in the race as it stands right now. All right, y'all, let's get into this preview here real quick. I see a lot of FKCs from Tadashi, Zalesbo, Rusty T, and the Queen. Makes me very, very happy here. Yeah, I know this Hefe guy, he spends more time on this channel than maybe just about anybody, which keep your friends close, but sometimes you got to keep your enemies closer. They're definitely hurting after that loss.
He might be a closet Raider fan.
I definitely see a closet. I don't know about a Raider fan, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, man.
Oh, you crazy, bro. You're crazy.
There's a dart in your neck.
Oh, right.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Let's get this thing going. Raider Nation, it's Chiefs Week, and if all you could do on this video is spam FKC, there is nothing that is going to make me happier. I don't want 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I want you to pretend that you're back at the Oakland Coliseum, and you see a Chiefs fan walking by you. I want nothing but FKCs down below. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. Coming up on today's show, I'm going to be doing a little preview here with the Las Vegas Raiders going up against their division rival, the Kansas City Chiefs. And near the end of the show, I'm going to give you my score prediction. I'm going to give you some keys to victory. And then we are also going to be looking at the NFL playoff picture. So as it stands right now, Kansas City 7-3, coming off a tough loss on Monday Night Football to the Philadelphia Eagles on a short week, going up against the Raiders at home with Antonio Pierce. Now, to make sure that you guys don't miss our watch party, Jeremy Chugs and I, we're going to be live Sunday, and I need you to be there. Tailgate party, got a special surprise for some of the OG Raiders Report watchers. All I'm going to say is anything is possible. Subscribe, join our Raiders vs. Chiefs watch party, because in the years that I've done this show, the biggest, the wildest, the craziest shows that we have done for game day is usually against Kansas City. So if you miss the Oakland tailgate days, you better pull up. The only way that you'll make sure that you remember, subscribe, turn on those noties. All right, so first off, we're going to go on the offensive side of the football here. I'm going to be breaking down some keys that the Raiders need to do if they want to beat Andy Reid and company. The first one is kind of simple, and if you've watched me just mentally break down after the Raiders loss against Miami, this one probably doesn't surprise you all that much. I need a more exciting offense, right? I want to watch an offense that gives me chills. I want to watch an offense that when I stand up, I got to make sure that nobody's around looking at me because I got to tuck it in my waistband type of offense. Because the offense that the Raiders have been running with Bo Hardegree, it's been boring. It's been stale. And I know Antonio Pierce said that they don't want to put too much pressure on Aiden. And, they don't want to do too much because he's a rookie quarterback. I hear you. I know that he's a rookie, and I know that he's going to play like a rookie, but you're not beating the Kansas City Chiefs. You're not going to win on a consistent basis in the NFL if you don't put out a solid product out there on the field. So everybody, I need a more exciting offense. The next thing that the Raiders just absolutely positively need to do, you got to protect Aiden O'Connell. It does sound like Kolton Miller is trending in the right direction and should be able to play up against the Chiefs, which is obviously a major, major thing, because this season, when teams have gotten after Aiden, he's struggled. Like most quarterbacks struggle when you get pressure in their face. But in the 4 games that O'Connell has started this season, when the Raiders have won those 2 games, he's been sacked 3 times, all against the Jets. And the games that the Raiders have lost, you're looking at the Chargers game, and then you're looking at this past week against the Dolphins. He's been sacked 9 times. I know I'm not trying to sit up here and act like this is anything that's that hard to imagine. But when you protect your rookie quarterback, when you give him time to throw, and he can sit back there and make the proper reads because he's a little bit slow making his reads, that's a big, big difference. And going up against a tough defense like the Chiefs that are 3rd in the NFL right now in sacks, you better protect AOC. Let's go to the next one here. You got to get Josh Jacobs going. I was very frustrated last week. The first 10 plays for the Raiders on offense, 8 passing plays, 2 rushing plays with Jacobs. That can't be the recipe for success. I know that Miami's got a great offense. I know that Kansas City, they're not playing as well as what Miami did last week, but the more and more you can keep Jacobs in this offense on the field, that means that Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid are sitting their asses on the bench. And another way to protect your rookie, another way to make sure that defenders aren't pinning their ears back and just getting after your quarterback, run the damn ball. Get physical. And here's another one. It's not rocket science. When the Raiders have fed their workhorse running back this season, they have won football games. And 5 wins compared to 6 losses. These are the splits for Josh Jacobs. 117 carries to 83. Again, it is 1 less game, but look at the amount of production that Jacobs is getting, that the Raiders are getting when they win football games. It is not that difficult. Teams can't box or can't stack the box, and then that opens it up for everybody. And I know that, when the Raiders get a lead, they're able to lean on Jacobs a little bit more. That's fine. I get the numbers behind it. But it's early in the game. Get the running game going. Start beating them up, because then it starts paying off in the 3rd and then the 4th quarter. Here's the next one. You can't miss the big plays. I think one of the reasons why I was so frustrated with Aiden O'Connell after their loss to the Dolphins was the amount of throws he just flat out missed. I can sit up here and I can say that Bo Hardegree, the offense was plain, it was stale, it was vanilla, it was. but a good NFL quarterback, a starting caliber quarterback, cannot miss the amount of throws, cannot miss the amount of reads, cannot take the amount of sacks, cannot turn the football over the amount that Aiden did. Did Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey have hell of a game? Yes. Did the Miami Dolphins defense play well? Yeah, no doubt about it. But I'm big on, I don't care if you're a rookie. If you're starting in the NFL and there are easy throws out there to be had, you got to take advantage of those easy throws, because if you miss on them again, you're not beating Kansas City. There's no way that it's going to happen. I got one more here key for the Las Vegas Raiders on the offensive side of the football, and it's another one. Jeremy's behind the screen going like this, and it's one that needs to happen. No interceptions, no turnovers. I'm going to lose my mind here. The fact that the Raiders have played 11 games this season. They have played in 11 games this season and have an interception in 10 out of the 11 games this year. The only game that the Raiders don't have an interception, guess what? They won. And I know that the Raiders defense is playing a lot better. They're playing a lot better, man. They deserve so much credit for how well this team has played. I see down in the comments, Senior says more trick plays. I'm down with more trick plays. But the Raiders are dead last in interceptions, and it's not close. 17 picks for the Silver and Black. Then it's 31 with the Cleveland Browns, who have been dealing with a lot of quarterback problems themselves. And then it's number 12 with the Buffalo Bills and Chicago Bears. Washington Commanders at 12. And then, oh, wow, look at that. Kansas City sitting there at number 11. So, again, here are my 5 offensive keys for the Raiders offense if they want to beat the Chiefs. You got to have a more exciting offense with Bo Hardegree. I don't want to see a stale offense. If you have an opportunity to put up points, you got to do it. I'm not trying to go for field goals. I'm going for touchdowns. Protect Aiden. The way to protect him, get Josh Jacobs going. You can't miss on the big plays. You got to take advantage of the gimmies. If it's 3rd and 1, if it's 4th and 1, pick up those yards. Don't go for the deep ball. If Devontae Adams beats his guy and you have a shot to get him, take advantage of it. Aiden, you got to be better this week. And then, no interceptions. If you do all these things and the Raiders defense plays the way that they've been playing, the Raiders will beat the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday. Now, I do got to show some love to today's sponsor, Factor. And Factor Meals, man, during the holiday season is saving my behind. Because I don't know if you're like me, when the holidays come, I get stressed out. And I'm a busy guy. And this holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. With chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all your holiday to-dos. Skip the stress of meal prepping over the holidays with Factor. Choose from 35-plus weekly flavor-packed, fresh, never-frozen meals that support a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences, all delivered right to your door and ready to eat in 2 minutes. Head to factormeals.com/RaidersChat50 and use code RaidersChat50 to get 50% off. That's code RaidersChat50 at factormeals.com/RaidersChat50 to get 50% off. If anybody can't remember those links, or if you're looking for a spot to find them, they're going to be down in the comments. They're going to be down in the description. Factor's so good that even my mom would recommend it. Factor's so good, hell, I bet my grandmother would recommend it. And you know what? I bet you Sherry Lynn would also recommend Factor. Those are 3 people that I think we can all can trust. All right, let's keep it moving here on the show. 5 defensive keys going up against Kansas City. Talked about the offense. Let's get into the defense here. I want the Raiders to get physical with Kansas City's wide receivers. The Chiefs might have the worst wide receiver room in the entire league, and this is a wide receiver unit that is built on speed. They have drop problems, and they are not physical at all. Also, Kadarius Toney, that's a super scary picture. I'm not going to lie to you. But with Toney, get up there, hit him a little bit. Marcus Valdes-Scantling, get up there, hit him a little bit. Sky Moore, undersized, hit him a little bit. Rashee Rice, yes, he's big, but he's lean. I want the Raiders to get up near the line of scrimmage, and I want them to hit some people, because what I don't want is them to play soft, because if those receivers do catch the football, it can turn into a big play. You are the more talented team, which I have not been able to say for a very long time, considering the Raiders' defense and the Chiefs' offense. But the way that their safeties, corners, linebackers stack up, hit them. Get in their face. The other way to do it is to stop Travis Kelce. Box in one on Travis Kelce. Do everything that you can to make sure that he doesn't catch the football. If you look at what the Eagles did last night on Monday Night Football, guess what they did? They made sure that Kelce couldn't catch the ball. Now, I get it. He had a touchdown. But when you see defenses double team, hell, even triple team Kelce, they're hitting him at the line. They're bracket covering him. They're saying, you know what, Mahomes? Throw it to somebody else. I need you to throw it to somebody else. And if you take away Kelce, this Chiefs offense has struggled now for 3 straight weeks. The other reason why I need you to stop is because Kelce is absolutely feasted against the Raiders in his career. In 18 games against the Silver and Black, 100 catches, 1,289 yards, and 11 touchdowns. And a lot of that damage has come in recent season. Hell, Kelce had a game last year with not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. 4 receiving touchdowns. That simply can't happen. This season, though, in terms of the Chiefs, right? And Kelce stats and wins, when the Chiefs win football games, Kelce is averaging 7.3 receptions for 77 yards, which is an average of 10.6 yards per reception. He's averaging about 0.57 touchdowns per game, no fumbles. In the losses this season, 4.3 receptions, 34 yards, an average of 7.8, 0.33 touchdowns, and a fumble. It's not rocket science. With how bad the Chiefs' wide receivers are, if you take away Travis Kelce and you make them beat you with somebody else, they have struggled. Why? Because they don't have nearly as much talent as what they have had in years past. Let's go to the next one here, forced turnovers. If the Raiders are going to take advantage of their struggling offense, sometimes the defense has got to bail them out. And I know the Raiders' defense last week technically forced 4 turnovers, 3 actual, and then a turnover on downs. And sometimes, that's what you got to do. You got to figure out a way to force turnovers because this season the Chiefs have turned the football over quite a bit. And if you put yourself in these short field situations, it's going to lead to points. Where last week, the Raiders were afraid to kick field goals because they felt like they were always chasing points. Let's do the reverse now. Let's get ourselves a nice early lead. Let's keep that lead. And if we need to kick field goals, I don't want field goals, I want touchdowns. But if you can force some turnovers and really fluster Mahomes, good stuff's going to be coming. Let's go to the next one here. I want to pressure the offensive tackles. The overall Chiefs offensive line is one of the better offensive line units in the league, but that's because of their guard and center play. The Chiefs' interior offensive line, I'll say it, probably the best interior offensive line in all of football with Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, and Trey Smith. They have played phenomenal football. This is according to PFF, but Donovan Smith, Jawan Taylor, both on the outside as left tackle and right tackle. This is where the Raiders got to get after him. If you're going to bring a blitz, target Jawan Taylor. If you're going to bring a blitz, go after Donovan Smith. I don't want interior blitzes. Now, maybe once in a while, sure, go for it. But let's get Malcolm Kuntz going. Let's get Tyree Wilson going. Let's get one-on-one Max Crosby, Jawan Taylor. That is a matchup that Kansas City wants no part of. My point is this. If you're going to blitz, just hypothetically speaking, 10 times against Kansas City, I want 9 of them to be, let's put a tackle in a tough spot. Let's make one of their bad offensive tackles make a decision, because when teams have blitzed the interior of Kansas City, it hasn't worked because of how well those guys have played up the middle. I still got a few more keys here, but remember, I always got to show some love to the Noti Gang. If you're like, Mitch, what the hell is the Noti Gang? Noti Gang is people who are subscribed and have turned on their notification bell. So every time I drop a video, they take a lot of pride in trying to be one of the very first people to comment on that video. So the video that I dropped on November 21st, shout out to Willie Gutierrez, shout out to BO3, Herschel Allen, and Matt R. If you want to find your name here on a show, subscribe, notifications, try to be one of the very first people to comment. Type Noti Gang. That way I know you're a part of the group. Let's go to the last one here. It's limit Mahomes' big plays. I always make this reference because it still haunts my dreams when the Raiders gave up 28 points to Mahomes the final year in Oakland. It was 4 touchdowns, 278 passing yards, all in the second quarter. And it was big play after big play after big play. It was heartbreaking to watch. I mean, it was tough. I'm pretty sure that's why Demarcus Robinson got the contract that he did from the Raiders. But it's besides the point. My point here is this. The Chiefs don't have a good enough offense this season to beat you over and over and over again if you make them dink and dunk their way down the field, which is what Patrick Graham tries to do. Also, from a number standpoint in wins, Patrick Mahomes, 71.6% completion percentage compared to the losses this season at 57.5. The passing yards per game, look at the passing yards per game. Hell, look at the yards per completion, 7.7 in wins, 5.4 in losses. When you make Mahomes and this offense do 10, 11, 12 play drives this season, they have not been able to show, especially recently, that they have the ability to do it. When they get a big chunk play because teams don't pressure their receivers and they don't get up into the face of them, that's when you see this Chiefs team struggle. So the bottom line is this: get in their face, pressure them, don't allow the big play. If you're going to allow Mahomes dinking and dunking his way down the field, the Raiders will have success. I don't know how often you're going to be able to hit Mahomes, but if you can pressure him, you can get after him, you can force some turnovers, it's going to be a good recipe for success for the Silver and Black. All right, we're going to keep looking here. Week 12 matchup. The Chiefs are 10-point favorites. Last week, Miami was a 14-point favorite. That over-under, I believe, was also 45.5. I like when the Raiders are underdogs. I want the Raiders to be underdogs. The Raiders had the extra day of rest, which I do think helps you out a lot. Kansas City coming off a tough Monday Night Football game, which if you want to play a team after the Eagles are going to beat you up. The Eagles are a tough team to play. Short week coming up after the Eagles. I would love to know what that stat is. It's not an easy one, though. So what I want you guys to do after seeing the Raiders are 10-point underdogs, 45 over-under, what's the score prediction? Are the Raiders going to come out with a dub? Is Kansas City going to come away with a dub? The way that I do this show is this. I'm always an honest person, right? But sometimes you got to bend the rules a little bit. And when it's Chiefs week, I'm going to bend the rules. So give me the Raiders to win this game. I think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring, 24-23, last-second field goal by Daniel Carlson. As it stands right now, this is the AFC playoff picture, and Kansas City was at number 1. But after a tough loss, they're going to drop down to number 2 here at 7-3. But as you can see, there's a lot of teams in the hunt. And I think for the first time in a long time, the AFC wildcard race is extremely up for grabs. I mean, you got the Cleveland Browns, who don't have Deshaun Watson, got a backup quarterback. The Houston Texans, they have a rookie quarterback. They've been looking pretty solid. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they just fired their offensive coordinator. Buffalo, I still think, ends up finding a way to get in. Indianapolis, I don't know what they're doing. Heck, they just released Shaq Leonard. Then the Bengals, they don't have Joe Burrow. The Raiders have been able to beat Denver. Like, there are so many unknowns for this AFC playoff picture. And to me, I am still going to say that, yes, the Raiders have a chance to make the playoffs. They absolutely have a chance. And they control their own destiny, which is exactly what you want the Raiders to do. If the Raiders win 4 out of their final 6 games, they have a chance. It's not a great probability, but they have a chance. If you win 5 out of your next 6, you're basically in for a lock. And the reason why they're in for a lock is because of the remaining schedule. Like, you're going up against all these AFC teams, right? Kansas City twice, Chargers, AFC team, Colts, Broncos, AFC. In fact, the game that if you're going to lose one is Week 14 against Minnesota. If you told me, Mitch, give me one game the Raiders can lose, it's Week 14 against Minnesota, because that's the game that is the least important for the remainder of the season here for the Silver and Black. I know it's not a high probability at 5-6, but I believe in Antonio Pierce. I believe in this Raiders team from top to bottom. Can they get better? Of course they can. Was I frustrated last week? Of course I was. We were all frustrated because that was a very, very winnable game. You want to shut me up? You want to shut up everybody that was upset after the Dolphins loss? Go take care of business this week against the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, y'all, let's get those score predictions. Chugs, I'm going to change my jersey.
Quick change.
And if you give some shout-outs, that'd be dope.
And Jay Silk, are you still in the chat? Jay Silk, let me know, because I have the goods, if you know what I mean. If you're in the chat still, I got the goods. Give me those score predictions down in the comments. Nico says 24-21 Raiders. Isaac 25-23. FR 20-17. Senior Steve 13-10. Jay Silk is here. All right. Mitch, are you ready for this unboxing?
There's nothing I like more than a good unboxing. Also, for Raiders news, he was released last week. He is now back on the team. Jacob Johnson has been signed to the practice squad. Jesse James has been released. So that's some Raiders news that just happened. Also, Jose Delgado, I don't know if I said it yet, you're in. And Nico Laz, also in.
Dude, yeah. Jay Silk.
You got it?
It's lit. He said he wants me to show it on the other show, not here.
Yeah, I agree.
Which I get.
I agree.
But Jay Silk, it's dope.
That does look sick, man.
It's dope.
I like it. Jay Silk, you're very talented, bro.
I have some more ideas.
You're very talented. All right, I see Raider Tone, 24-14 Raiders. Clayton Williams, 24-17 Raiders. Lafayette, 17-13 Raiders. Robert Jansen, 23-17 Silver and Black. Gino, 23-10 Raiders. Michael Calhoun, 35-24 Raiders. 2017 from Chadwick Howard. Cheers to all y'all. Also, bad news.
Yeah.
Nico Laz is in.
Nico Laz is in.
Nico Laz is in. All right, y'all. This might be the final call for a chance to get in our 50-50 raffle. Right now, 10 to win, you would win $40. You would win $40. So we have 8 people in the race.
Jay Silk says he's going 24-17.
Really?
Raiders.
I like it. What up, Queen? What up, Martin?
Nico says, bro, I haven't won in 2 weeks.
Oh, you poor thing. You poor thing.
I only won the lottery once.
Came in second yesterday, though. I saw his duck pulling up, and I was like, this mother effer. This guy's got to be the luckiest dude in the entire world. Again, the Raiders news that just happened. The Raiders signed Jacob Johnson, fullback, to their practice squad and moved on from Jesse James, who they signed last week. I mean, it was literally like, sign Jesse James, release Jacob Johnson. 1 week later, the inverse. Kind of weird, but it is what it is. 600 people here in the chat. If you haven't already, make sure you guys click that like button. Got a super chat coming in here from Isaac. First timer? No, not first timer. I thought it was. Mitch, I guarantee we beat the Chiefs. Since 2014, the Raiders have won every 6th game against the Chiefs. This week is the 6th since we have last beat them.
Let's go!
I'll tell you what, I like the stat. At this point, I'll take it, right? Like, any stat that you can provide me where the Raiders beat the Chiefs.
And then after this week, the cycle's broken.
Yep. Though, I hope that if the Raiders win this week, I see what you're saying, then the cycle's broken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they beat the Chiefs again.
Dude, would you rather them win this week or during Christmas if you could only pick 1 week? That's tough.
Oh, that is tough.
It would make my Christmas a lot better. However, though, I would actually probably pick this week because I want them to win going into the bye. You pick up a win going into the bye, that's massive.
Would you rather beat the Chiefs twice and miss the playoffs or lose to the Chiefs twice and then lose in the first round of the playoffs?
Wait, say that again?
Would you rather beat the Chiefs twice and not make the playoffs or lose to the Chiefs twice, make the playoffs, but lose in the first round?
Man. I mean, if that's my scenario, I'll take beating the Chiefs twice because then I get a better draft pick. If you said just lose to the Chiefs twice, make the playoffs, and have a chance to win, then yeah, I'm going to go that route. But I would say then beat the Chiefs and miss the playoffs because I'll get a better draft pick. Instead of losing to them twice, making the playoffs and losing in the first round. Yeah, I'll probably beat the Chiefs. I know a lot of people are saying playoffs, which I get. I want to make the playoffs. But if I already know I'm going to lose in the first round, then I'll take the better draft pick. Not a great question. It's a great one. It's not. It's a lose-lose, honestly. It's a lose-lose. All right, final chance here to get in. We got one more segment coming up here on the show. And then we're going to do a duck race. Eric Mitchell, you in? And then I also see Kobe Carson in. So right now, we got 10. 10 to win $50 as it stands right now.
As it stands.
Mario, if we beat the Chiefs with AOC and an interim head coach, I mean, this team's going to play a tough football game. Like, I don't, again, knock on wood. I guess I should come over here. I don't see the Raiders getting blown out. Like, this team plays with way too much heart. They play way too much together as a unit. I don't see them getting blown out. I really don't.
Glug, 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 glug.
Their defense has been playing solid football. Like, the fact that their defense has been playing the way that they have been, I feel like that they're going to be in every football game this season. I have more confidence in this Raiders team than I have in probably quite some time from a defensive standpoint. It's just about getting the offense's shit together. If you can get the offense's shit together, man, this team could be really tough to beat because of how tough football they play. Facts. I just got another one in here. I want to say it's from Adriano. Adriano, you in. So now winner would get $55. Love it. Stretch says, bet the under on the Raiders. We win this game, but miss the playoffs. Potentially. All these ifs. If Silver and Black gonna... Hey, man. Rodney, I hope the Raiders win, dude. Good luck in the race, Jay Silk. What up, Arlen? Mitch and Chugs, is it early, but what are your thoughts on Daniels from LSU? I think he's a really good quarterback. I think he's a hell of an athlete. I do think that his draft stock is going to drastically skyrocket after the NFL Combine.
I agree with Mitch. I like Jaden Daniels.
I like Jaden Daniels. To me, I like him because, again, one of the qualities that I look for in a quarterback is, are you coachable and can you get better? He's gotten better and better and better as the season's gone on, and even last year.
You said something yesterday that I completely agree with. I think I would rather spend a second-round pick on Jaden Daniels than spend a first-round pick on Michael Penix.
I agree. I agree with that.
Well, no, you're the one that originally said it.
No, I know. I'm saying I agree with it.
I agree with myself.
Though, the Michael Penix thing is throwing me off. Every time you say it, I'm like, there's somebody out there that's like, holy shit, is that how you say his name?
Michael Penix.
Is it? Nah, I'm not even going to get in there.
What?
I know what joke you're making, and I guess if you did replace the X with another letter, it probably would be that.
Yeah.
You don't write with a peen. You write with a pen. Right?
Hey, can you pass me that ballpoint peen?
Holy shit. This call to the bullpen has been brought to you by Geico.
Hey, nothing's official until you put peen to paper, am I right?
Holy shit. Oh, man.
Oh, Nico says Penix goes hard.
All right, we're getting dumb here. This is dumb. Oh, Jeffrey, what's your best one?
I do have to say, Marshall is the one who started saying it around me, and then I started saying it. Penix.
Oh, Michael Penix.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's really able to penetrate the defense.
Really
That's what I hear.
pulling out of the pocket.
Wow. And he's a lefty. It's impressive. All right, before we get a penalty, let's keep this moving here. Let's keep it moving. Next show coming up here on the Raiders Report. I got some burning questions.
Sam watching soccer. It's getting really intense. It went down to penalty kicks. All right.
I mean, he does have a peanut allergy.
Yeah. He's allergic to peanuts.
Peanuts. That's just
yeah,
weird.
he's allergic. Sorry, I mispronounced. He's allergic to peanuts.
Yeah, exactly. No, I get it. Yep, I think we're done here. Some of you are like, all right, you guys just got to get out of here.
All right, one more super chat, and then we'll get into this Segi.
Raider Josh, you in. Also, Adrian. Yo, Adrian Flores, in. And then Jose Cass, you're in twice.
OC Raider, thanks, Mitch and Chugs. Oh, hard R with a roll. Adriano? Adriano? You got this.
You got this.
You can't roll your R's, though.
No, I can't roll anything.
It's Adriano? The R and then the roll is messing me up.
This is like me looking at Alex's mom and telling her, pronounce yellow like yellow and not jello.
Before I read the whole thing.
It's not easy.
Before I read the whole thing, it totally messed me up, though, this super chat. really got into my head.
Jose Cass, he's got 2 picks in.
Adriano.
We'll get it right sooner or later.
Adriano.
What's Raiders then?
Raiders.
I mean, again, the more and more I've tried to learn Spanish and certain words, I'm just really struggle with it. And then I listen to Alex's mom talk. Again, I love the fact that she actually has an accent. I wish Alex had an accent because she doesn't. Hell, she probably speaks English better than I do. She does speak English better than I do. But it's tough. I'll do my best, though. If there's a certain way that you guys want me to pronounce it, so does that mean it's O.C. Raider? O.C. Raider? That's what I'm calling you from now on.
You can't really
OC.
roll your R's?
Bro, no.
Yo, yeah. Yo,
See, I feel like I'm trying to make a bad car noise.
Nano Boy says, I'll donate $1K if Jeremy does a backflip. Okay, I'll do it right now. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Or actually, I can leave this on.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You ready? 1, 2, 3. There you go. I did it. Nano Boy, you owe me $1,000.
Wow.
A backflip.
Honestly, I mean, that was great. Is it going to Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365?
Hey, you heard it here first.
We got it. In fact, it was a double backflip.
It was a
That's
double
2.
backflip.
That's 2K. That's impressive. Everybody, shout out to Chugs. All right, Nano, we're going to see if you pay up.
Didn't think I could do it.
See if he's a man of his word. I don't know. That was impressive. I'm not going to lie. When you stood up, I was like, he's going to go through the computer. That was good.
Have you ever seen that joke before?
Yes. Though I didn't think that you were going to do that joke. That's not what I thought. Misty said it's a double for 2K, double backflip. There you go. I mean, imagine in like the Olympics. If somebody, instead of just doing a regular double backflip,
I'm just on the.
they did that.
I'm on the balance beam, and I'm just like. Oh, he did a double backflip off the balance beam.
Holy shit. That was iconic. All right. Well, we'll wait for it. In the meantime, I say we do one more segment here. I got some burning questions, and then we will get in.
Nano Boy, I did what you said. A backflip.
Hey, I like it. Well, no, it was a double backflip. I think that's pretty impressive. Also, Morrow
Nano Boy
Guevara
says all he did is flip us off and stretch TM right below us. He flipped you off, not us.
Correct. That is correct.
Oh, my God.
All right, we got 18 people in the race, which means you would win 90. 10 to win 90. We'll do that after this segment. Coming up here on the show, I got 5 burning questions that I think a lot of people here in the nation are asking themselves, asking each other before the Chiefs game. You ready? All right, let's keep it moving here on the show. Raider Nation, what's going on? Coming up here on the Raiders Report, I have 5 burning questions that I think a lot of people around the nation, hell, questions that even myself am asking leading into this big-time Week 12 game up against the Kansas City Chiefs. The first question is this: will the Raiders offense show up this week? I know that they have talent. They have a good offensive line despite people ripping on their O-line. They have a hell of a running back. They have good receivers. They have a good tight end room. Will Aiden O'Connell not look like a rookie? All of these questions are circulating around my head because when you look at the last 10 quarters, the Raiders' offense in the last 10 quarters has scored 2 touchdowns. And last week against Miami, 10 points in the first quarter, 3 the remainder of the game. Against the New York Giants, 24 in the first half, 6 the remainder of the game. Against the New York Jets, failed to score. He only scored 1 touchdown. My point is this: I want Bo Hardigree to do well. I want Aiden O'Connell to do well. And with as much anger and as much frustration as what I had after that Dolphins game, I got a prove it list, right? I'm a man of my word. I will shut up if the Raiders come out this week against Kansas City and if Bo Hardigree, Aiden O'Connell, and Antonio Pierce prove that they have what it takes to take care of business against Kansas City. I will come up here on this show and I will say I was wrong on Bo Hardigree not being the right man for the job. I was wrong on Aiden O'Connell not being ready to be the man for the job. And I still believe in Antonio Pierce, but this is your prove it list. If you want Bo Hardigree back as your OC, prove it this week. If you think Aiden O'Connell is the quarterback that can get it done next season, here's your week to prove it. If you think Antonio Pierce can be the next Raiders head coach, now, this week, is your chance to prove it. So with this Raiders offense, I want you to go down in the comments, okay? Because this is the question. For the Raiders, in order to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, in order for them to take down Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, how many points do the Raiders need to score? Do they need to put up 20? Do they need to put up 30? Do they need to put up 40? How many points do the Raiders need to score to come away with the dub? Let's go to question number 2 here on the Raiders Report. Is Aiden O'Connell ready for the biggest game of his football career? If Aiden struggles against Kansas City, the way that he did against Miami, the way that he struggled against the Chargers, and to be honest with you, I'm more frustrated based off the way Aiden played against Miami than the Chargers, because the Raiders' offensive line against the Chargers was much worse compared to the way that they played against the Miami Dolphins. And this is the biggest game of his career. There is no doubt about it. I'm talking Pee-wee football, high school football, college football, NFL. This week against Kansas City, you're going to find out a lot about what type of quarterback Aiden is, because these are the type of games that you need to be able to go out there, compete, play well, and find a spot to win. Because this season, he's 62.1% completion percentage, 946 yards, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's got 4 starts underneath his belt, but he has played in 5 games. Week 4 against the Chargers. These were the numbers that he put up. Week 7 against the Chicago Bears. Came in relief. Week 9 against the New York Giants. Week 10 against the New York Jets. Week 11 against the Miami Dolphins. What type of QB am I going to get? I don't need Aiden O'Connell to be a great quarterback. I just need him to play smart football, make throws that NFL starting quarterbacks should be able to make. Because to me, I don't view Aiden as a starting quarterback in the NFL. I view Aiden as a long-term backup. But if he wants to prove that statement wrong, he needs to go out there, play turnover-free football, and he needs to go out there and give the Raiders a chance to win. Because last week against Miami, he did not do that. And if you have a quarterback that can make throws that a starting quarterback can make, the Raiders beat the Miami Dolphins. I'm easily can forget about Miami if we can get a win against Kansas City. Coming up here, 3 more burning questions that I believe that the nation is asking themselves before their Week 12 showdown against their division rival, the Kansas City Chiefs. Before I get into that, though, Factor Meal's so good that I think even Chiefs fans would realize how good it is. And if the nation out there also wants to take advantage of this amazing deal, especially during the holiday season, I know how difficult the holidays can be, but if you're like me and you see a good deal and you want to jump on it and you got great food, what else do you need? So this holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The reason why I love Factor is because of how simple it is. So if you're looking for special occasion meals during the holidays, level up with Gourmet Plus options prepared to perfection by chefs and ready to eat in record time. Enjoy premium ingredients like broccolini, leeks, truffle butter, and asparagus. So nation, head to factormeals.com/RaidersChat50 and use code RaidersChat50 to get 50% off. That's code RaidersChat50 at factormeals.com/RaidersChat50 to get 50% off. If anybody out there is going to be looking for this link, it's going to be in the comments. It's going to be in the description. And the reason why I love Factor, especially during the holidays, is you're going to save time, you're going to eat well, and you're going to stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all of your holiday to-dos. I don't know about you. Sounds pretty dang good to me. Let's go to the third burning question here on the Raiders Report, sponsored by Factor. Will the Raiders defense slow down Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs offense? I understand that this offense is not what you typically think of when you think of a great Chiefs offense led by Patrick Mahomes. In fact, the reason why the Chiefs are winning football games is because of how good their defense has been. But you have to look at this offense and how it stacks up against the silver and black, because this season, in total yards per game, Chiefs are still top 10 in the league, 365.4 compared to the Raiders' defense, which is 21st in total yards. Passing yards per game, this is the matchup that I can't wait to see, because the Raiders' defense is a lot better than what these numbers indicate just because of how bad and how often the Raiders' offense has turned over the football. But turnovers, look at that. Chiefs' offense turnovers, 19. This is where the Raiders got to win this game. You got to force turnovers. You got to pressure Patrick Mahomes. You got to make life difficult on the Chiefs' wide receivers. You got to take away Travis Kelce. And if you're able to really do all those things, I believe that this Raiders defense is going to have the opportunity to outplay the Chiefs offense. And I'll tell you what, you can say what you want about the Raiders beating the Giants. You can say what you want about the Raiders beating the Jets. The best defensive game I've seen all season was when the Raiders, or what they did to the best offense in the NFL in Miami. You want to keep Patrick Graham around? Have another great game here up against Kansas City. So I asked you earlier, how many points do the Raiders need to score to beat Kansas City? Well, how about this? How many points will the Chiefs score against this Raiders defense? Because this Raiders defense is playing some really solid football. 20 points last week against Miami, 12 points against the Jets, no touchdowns, and then only 6 points against the Giants. NFL teams take on the identity of their head coach, and they're taking on the identity of Antonio Pierce. They're taking on the identity of Patrick Graham. This is a legit defense, and I hope that the entire world sees how legit they truly are. Let's go to number 4 here. Will Kolton Miller play / will the Raiders' offensive line be at full strength? No doubt, the Raiders have missed Miller the past 2 weeks, and every number, every stat out there absolutely indicates that, and all reports are indicating that you will have Miller this week going up against Kansas City as expected, that he is going to be playing on that left side of the offensive line, which definitely makes me happy. So the numbers that you're going to see real quick here are PFF grades with the Raiders' offensive line against the Giants, the Jets, and the Miami Dolphins. In Week 9 against the Giants, their pass blocking grade compared to the run blocking grade, and, just kind of like look overall, it's Kolton Miller at left tackle, Dylan Parham at left guard, Andre James at center, Greg Van Roten at right guard, Jermaine Illuminor at right tackle. I know a lot of y'all have been ripping on Jermaine, and I don't think that people truly understand how well and what Jermaine has been asked to do, and to be honest, how well he's been able to do it. Yes, he gets exposed at times, but I do think that Jermaine Illuminor deserves a lot of love and deserves a lot of credit because he's been asked to do something pretty difficult. But from the pass blocking, run blocking numbers, that's what it was in Week 9. Let's now go to Week 10 against the Jets, one of the best defenses in the National Football League. And Jermaine, an okay grade there. Dylan Parham has been really struggling on the interior line. He's probably been your worst offensive lineman this season. Yes, Thayer Munford did a solid job in run blocking, but he is an absolute liability in the pass blocking regime. Then against Miami, Parham again was your weak spot. Greg Van Roten did a good job in terms of pass blocking, but needs to be a little bit better in terms of a run blocker. Munford was okay. Jermaine Illuminor could be better. Overall, though, for the Raiders to compete, they need to be able to keep Aiden O'Connell upright. And one of the ways to do that is to just have Kolton Miller out there on the field. And when you look at the past 3 weeks, and the reason why I'm looking at the past 3 weeks is because I'm looking at Antonio Pierce. Week 9, the Raiders' pass blocking grade was by far the best. And believe it or not, these numbers are accurate, which I literally had to go back and I had to look at. The Raiders' starting offensive line grades in Week 10 and Week 11 were the exact same. All I know is if the Raiders have Kolton Miller out there, their pass blocking is going to be better, which is one of the main keys in order for them to win this game. I do got to show some love to the Noti Gang, and for those that don't know what the Noti Gang is, when you hit that subscribe button and you turn on those notifications and you try to be one of the very first commenters, I'm going to do my best to make sure that you know that I see it, I appreciate the hell out of it, and it's way you get a shout out here on the show. Nick McBride, Jesus, Sway Zuze, and legendary Jimmy Gaming. If you don't know, Jimmy plays a lot of video games. Jesus, get a picture. Bottom line, you take time out of your day to watch my videos. I'm going to take time out of my day to show you all that I appreciate you. So please, subscribe, join the Noti Gang, try to be the first down in the comments on every single Raiders video. Let's go to the final burning question here. Can the Raiders slow down Travis Kelce? I feel like every year, every time the Raiders play the Chiefs, This is a guaranteed thing that I bring up. Why? Because it's something that you need to bring up. I don't know why, and I do know why. The Raiders have struggled at the linebacker position, but this season they have a good linebacker in Robert Spillane. And if you take a page out of a lot of these other NFL teams' playbooks in terms of how do you slow down the Chiefs' offense, the Eagles did it. I want to say the Broncos did it the week that they beat Kelsey. Like, they are trying to take away Travis, and he still might get a touchdown. But when you double and triple team him, that makes him mentally frustrated. And, I mean, he was kind of speaking about retirement last week. And to me, he's getting up there in age. He's had a lot of injuries. And, well, he's got Taylor now who makes more money than he does. So maybe he doesn't need to go out there and still play. My bottom line is this, though. When you look at the wins and losses, this season, the Kansas City Chiefs offense is not good enough because the receivers are arguably the worst receivers as a group in the league. You take away Travis Kelce, it makes their life so much more difficult. Even when Chiefs receivers are open, they might lead the league in drops right now. I mean, it's pretty freaking brutal out there. So if you take away Travis Kelce, which I'm hoping the Raiders figure out a way to do, make somebody else beat you. You do all those things, you're going to come away with a win. My 5 burning questions leading into this game up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Will the Raiders offense show up this week? Bo Hardegree, Aiden O'Connell, I'm looking at you because this team needs to get it together on offense because of how well their defense is playing. Question 2, is Aiden ready for the biggest game of his career? If you can take care of business against Kansas City, I am more than happy to forget about how bad you were against the Miami Dolphins. Question 3, will the Raiders defense slow down Mahomes? This defense is playing tough-nosed football. The Chiefs offense has struggled. Take away the big play, make them beat you down the field over and over and over again. Question 4, will the Raiders offensive line be healthy? It does look like that Kolton Miller is expected to play. Good news for this offense. And then number 5, can you slow down Travis Kelce? He has just owned the Raiders. Dude had 4 touchdowns in a game last season. Slow him down. And losses this season, he's averaging 4 catches per game. He's averaging 34 yards. And wins, 7 catches, 77 yards. Make one of those receivers beat you. Do not let Travis Kelce beat you. So for my question, since I gave you my 5 burning questions, what's the question that you got for me? Raiders Report is built on the nation, built on that interaction. The show, I want it to be treated like you're hanging out at an Oakland tailgate, like you're hanging out at a bar in Las Vegas, like you're sitting down with all your Raiders friends, family members, talking a little football. What is a burning question you have for this Raiders game going up against the Kansas City Chiefs? Can you see the spelling mistake on screen? Sure. It's all good. We'll get it fixed. I saw his, and I was like, what happened? I was like, did I read that wrong?
You saw nothing.
I almost Ron Burgundy it. You saw nothing. We got 530 people watching, 469 likes. I know. That's actually on me. It's not on Chugs, but Chugs fixed it. So it's all good. Also, I see Mario, you in, and then Cy Blackhorn, you're also in. So right now we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 people in our 50-50 raffle, which means winner would get $90. And now we actually have a few more that just got in. Aaron Yanez in. PG in. And then Josephan Garazzo in. So 21 people in, Jeremy.
$105.
$105 to the winner. This will be your final call. This will be your final call to get in.
Final countdown.
534 people here. Final countdown. Also, can we get to 500 likes? We're 15 away. Back-to-back shows, 500 likes. Sergio Torres.
Luis,
in.
Luis said, give me 1 sec.
I'm giving a lot of sex.
Oh, hopefully not with Michael Penix.
Yeah, seriously. Alex is like, what did you just say?
I'm giving out a lot of sex.
Oh, man. So I just had somebody. It's a good try. Somebody just asked for $10. It was a good effort.
Who was it? Dox him.
I can't
Dox
tell
him.
you. I can't
Dox
tell
him.
you. It's because sometimes it's a mistake. Like I know the first time my dad tried to send me money, he did ask for money. Happy birthday! Send me $100. I mean, it's all good. All right. We got Alec Potter. Alec Potter in. So now we're at 23. Luis Rodriguez in. 24. Final call. Ooh, Dylan Erickson in. Okay, that's 25. So that means winner's going to get $125. You ready? I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right, that's it. I'm cutting it off. Anything from here on out is just a donation.
And send it to TV.
Oh, wait. See? I was right. The guy who asked me for $10, now he's in. Manuel Ruiz, 26 in, which means winner's going to get $130. All right, so I got to send this to TV.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Boom.
And boom goes the dynamite.
I realized it during Sunday.
When you were like, I could just copy and paste it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the only thing I got to then do a better job of like keeping track of the how many people are in. But I guess you don't. It's more for like telling them how much
Yeah.
they're gonna win. That's the hard part.
I mean, that's
I got you.
That's not
Alfredo
crazy.
goes, I always lose. I give up the duck race game. I mean, there was somebody that won the other day. They won like, I think it was like $800 on one of our other shows that did it like 12 times, and now,
Alfredo.
now they're in.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Very true. I mean, Nico Laz has made $2,500 on these duck races.
And he hasn't won in 2 weeks.
Nico Laz, don't give up. Don't give up. All right, we are going to be doing
Don't give up.
a turkey
It'll
race.
happen.
We're going to be doing a turkey race here. And this is going to be... It's kind of wild, man. It's our final race before Thanksgiving. Remember, we will not be live on Thanksgiving. Jeremy and I are going to be with our family, so just keep that in mind. The next time you will see us is going to be on Sunday against the Chiefs. So, 26...
Do I let the sound go?
26... What? Let it go?
Do I let the gobble sound?
Let it. How about this? When you gobble, giggity, that's when the race starts. So I don't know when it's going to start. You guys don't know when it's going to start. Turkeys, on your marks. The winner gets $130. Adrian Flores out to a lead right now, but they're going to fall down a little bit. It looks like Mr. Blackhorn up there. Watch out for Adrian Flores. Justin Shields down on the bottom. I'll tell you this right now. Jose Cass, Aaron Yanez, and then I really, really like where Raider Josh is at. PG, though, pulling up there. Watch out for Potter. Potter's got the lead. Winner's going to get $130. Daniel Caps Keenan says, keep an eye on Misty. Jose Cass, Luis Rodriguez, Manuel Reeves at the very top. Victor Reyes down here has been up. I might have jinxed it. PG! Old man retirement. Is he going to get a win? I do not know. Eric Mitchell in a very interesting spot here. Watch out for Cass. Sergio Torres pulling a lead. Sergio Torres says, I want this dub.
Twerk on it.
Sergio Torres just twerking on poor Joseph. I believe that's Josephine.
Josephine.
It's supposed to be Josephine. It's on me. Sergio Torres. Congratulations, good
Nico
sir.
always in the last 10 seconds, spams, hit the Nas!
Hit the Nas. Turkey, turkey. All right, Sergio, I need you to confirm down below that you, sir, just received $130. Congratulations. Also, how many times did Sergio play? Let's find out. This is Sergio's third race, and they got a dub. So Sergio had $40 in. He is now up 90. House money. Playing with house money.
Sergio said he got it.
Sergio, congratulations, my man. All right, y'all. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get on out of here. I appreciate everyone that took time out of their day to watch this show. The next time that Jeremy Chuggs and I will be live, unless breaking news happens, but even if breaking news happens and I go live, it'll probably be from my fiance Alex's parents' house, and we'll have Chuck there. We'll be able to party it up a little bit. I want everyone to have an amazing Thanksgiving. It is one of my favorite holidays out there, especially since I've moved down here to Dallas, because when I first moved down here, I had all my friends, my family up north. I've been able to create a brand new family down here. But also, I'm very thankful for the nation. I'm very thankful for everyone that takes time out of their day, that takes time to watch a freaking turkey race, man.
Everybody, the remaining 482 people, last thing I want everybody to do before they leave is put one comment of what you're thankful for.
I like it. Let me know down below, what are you thankful for? Let me know down below. What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for Brett. He always helps me out. Always a good guy.
I'm thankful for everybody that watches the show, friends, family.
Of course, Brett
Chuck.
has both of his AirPods in.
The only time he's not listening to the show.
Yeah, psych. I'm not thankful for Brett.
Yeah, F that. F that. No, but seriously, man. Husker Raider, family, friends, and the Raiders Report. I appreciate that a lot. Robert, thankful for you. So the next time that you guys will see us,
Carlos, I feel that.
Sunday, when the Raiders take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Much love to everybody. Hopefully you all have a great, great Thanksgiving. I love you all to the moon and back. Make sure you eat a bunch of food. And make sure you stay tuned, because Jeremy and I are going to do a little Thanksgiving battle.
And if you're around on Thanksgiving, you're like, hey, I want to maybe check some stuff out. We will have all of the Thanksgiving games live shows from Chat Sports.
Yes. So we have a Lions game. That'll be live.
Yep.
With Micro Mike.
We have a 49ers game against the Seahawks.
And then the Cowboys game.
Against the Commanders.
Yep.
So we'll have 5 watch parties.
Lot of watch parties. So if anybody still wants to hang out with Chat Sports, every single game. Don't be afraid. Go check them out. So from me, from Jeremy Chuggs, have a hell of a Thanksgiving, and I'll see you guys on Sunday.